This is Anton from Drive Stick Shift, and today we're healing the Mazda once again. What is ailing her? What is bothering her? It is the throttle position sensor, the TPS. Now, how do you know that your TPS needs to be changed or serviced? Because that's what I actually did first. When the problem first arose, I found that even when the car was warmed up, it was driving after it was put in neutral, that idle would float way above where idle should be, like around 2,000. Now, I do use her as a lesson car. I teach people how to drive stick shift on her. So for me, it is quite important to understand when a person is touching the throttle or they are not, because that is a common mistake students may make. That does help them understand clutch control. So when I was noticing that throttle was hanging, and it would just linger for a little bit. Again, they would be driving in gear, then they would put it in neutral, and I'd see that for some weird reason, it would be around 2,000. Or even if it wasn't in neutral, let's say that they were still in gear, it would hang around 2,000, negating engine braking when it was supposed to kick in. And again, that is a central point of learning stick, how to utilize engine braking. So anyway, when I found that throttle was hanging high, I looked it up and I understood that it could be the throttle position sensor. It could also commonly be maybe your butterfly valve was being stuck open on the throttle body. It was not that for me. I did take a look at mine. It looked good. Throttle position sensor, kind of in an awkward place. First thing you can do is you can pop it off. You can see the condition of it. And you can see probably not so much the sensor because it's a plastic piece on the inside, but the part that it goes onto on the throttle body assembly, that could have some gunk on it. And it did. So I cleaned that off with some brake cleaner. Actually, I think it was some carb cleaner. And that worked well for a little bit. And then afterwards, it wasn't floating idle that resumed. I found that occasionally my idle would fluctuate. So it went about a couple of weeks, it was fine. And then I would find that, let's say if I also had my air conditioning system going or my defrosters on, that idle would fluctuate. And especially when I was just idling along in first gear, she would feel very bucky. So that would be another reason that you may be thinking about changing your throttle position sensor. Not an expensive part, honestly not hard to replace, a little awkward to get to. First thing we want to do, we just want to pop open our hood. We don't need to be jacking our car up, which always makes life a little bit easier. Let's go pop the hood, I guess. Boom. There we go. All right, I'm gonna get you in closer, but just off the bat, you're going for this area right here. So let's take a look closer at what exactly we're getting at. You need minimal tools. It's a little bit of an awkward part. There's one electrical connector. Anyway, let's get into it. All right, so our throttle position sensor is right over here, to be exact. So you're gonna have your manifold intake right here. So goes air box. Then we have this little intake plenum. And this is your map sensor right here. This is one of your vacuum hoses that goes to your valve cover, which as you see for me has been jerry-rigged. There's this plastic connector that connected it in. This is actually a hose, I think from a fuel line. My old one was a mess and I just did whatever I could. I used electrical tape. It's actually holding ridiculously well. And you know, they say nothing more permanent than a temporary fix. That's a good example of it. So this is the piece that we're trying to get at. It's a little bit awkward to get at just because you have more vacuum hoses in here and other sensors. If we look at it, just wanted to give you a somewhat good. That's the actual throttle position sensor, this guy. You have one connector. You want to just squeeze down and pull off, wiggle it around. And if you're working on a 99 Protege, which means at this point it's 27 years old, and as time goes on it doesn't get any younger, we just want to be considerate. Now, as I said, I was doing a maintenance on it recently, so I had to replace it then. Right now it comes off a lot easier. Then I had to finagle it. This is the part we're going for. And once it goes in, boom. All right, that's ready to get sent. I always want to check that the parts I get are the right ones. I got this from Parts Geek, and although they have been pretty good, I have had once a mistaken part from there, and that could happen with anyone. It could happen with Rock Auto, definitely could happen with Amazon, God knows. So you always want to check your part before you really go committing to install it. On the actual sensor, we're going to have two 10 mil bolts. This is where they're going to be holding in. So let's pop this guy out. Smart Money says I should just position the camera so I have two hands, so I'm going to do that. Okay, now that I got my hands free, even though we're going after this sensor, it helps to disconnect this guy. Again, 27-year-old car, so just be gentle with the connectors. You want to squeeze down here and start to wiggle, finesse. There she goes. You can put these guys over to the side. Not a world of difference. We're going to have two 7mm bolts. One is right here, the other one is right here. Although this one may seem like the easier one, it is a pain in the butt because of this hose. And being that it's zip tied in, I've been lazy. I've been avoiding taking it out. I'm going to start off with the bottom one. I'm going to be using a wrench because this top one, because the hose is awkward to get to, my itty bitty wrench committee right here, or if you want to go the Craftsman way, midget wrench set, I'm not sure which one of those is worse. Either way, let's get away from that and find our 7mm and all these little adorable wrenches. 6, 5.5, 5, 4, 7. So we want this guy. So glad I can finally use these. Had that Craftsman set for years, I think 2 or 3, and I've never used these itty bitty wrenches. Now I get my opportunity. So we just want to get it on there, and you want to pull it yourself. It should not be tough, but after you get a couple of rotations in there, you should be able to start letting it off with your hand. For the lower bolt, I'm going to use my little adorable socket. Love this guy. If your wrist is small enough, I have little lady wrists, so I can squeeze it into here. And the same story, just break it loose, and then afterwards we can start to feed it out. Try not to lose these bolts because they're small. In my replacement sensor, which I got, it did not come with new bolts, which I am a little bit salty about, but that's okay. You never know when you're going to get spare hardware. Sometimes it's a pleasant surprise. Sometimes it's a precautionary measure, precautionary tale for the job. Alright, so we got the bottom one out. This is what the bolt looks like. You have a washer on it. Try to maintain that. As we can see, ours is a little rusted. I keep in my tool set always a wire brush, just to clean any kind of guck that may be in the threads. Yeah, that helped a lot. Anyway, I was saying we don't want to lose it. That guy's safe. Now, I remember this from when I was doing the cleaning. When the sensor comes out, installing the new one is easy. There's just one consideration there. You want to make sure that when you put it in, there's 2 positions you can go in. The way that it is right now, and the second way, you're going to feel it feels wrong. You're going to suspect that something's off, and what happens if you install it the wrong way? When you turn it on, your idle is going to be super high. It's going to be like 3,000 or something. So, oh yes, right here it gets really fun. As you see, it's out most of the way, but just still holding on a little bit. You're gonna kind of believe. There it is. Okay, last thread out. And just try to hold it in and make sure the bolt doesn't run away. Alright, this one actually looks a little bit better. Put that aside, compare your parts. Yep, looks about the same. This is the original part number. You do have some different options for finding it. For me, it was just also a matter of price and time. This guy was not crazy expensive, with a little bit of more expedited shipping, like 5-day. I think it costs like 33 bucks. So the trick is, when you install it, these parts are plastic. On the inside, maybe manipulate it to show. We want to make sure when the tab, you can see, yeah, that helps. This guy right here where my thumb is. See if I can do a little bit with my camera. Okay. So where this tab is, and it's about yay big. We want to make sure that the tab, when it lands, that it doesn't, see how this can rotate? You want to make sure that it's not over tension, because that will cause your idle to be very high when you turn it on. So remember the position that it was in. It was kind of like this, it was a little cocked up. We're even going to get one bolt out. I'm going to go with the bottom bolt just to thread it on once I get it in there. And I know the view is horrible, so I apologize. And you guys hopefully can imagine a little bit of what's going on. There it is. So when you put it on, it's going to be down a little bit like this. And then you'll feel it without really resistance, be able to turn up a little bit, and just, you'll feel it slot in. And once it slots in, your bolt holes will line up. And we can just start to hand feed that bottom bolt on. Pretty much as tight as we can. There we go. And I mean, we're almost done here. This guy should be a little bit trickier. However we can, just get him in. Oh, actually, now I remembered something. Yeah, and I made a stupid mistake the first time. This has a Phillips on the end of it. So, something about working smart, not hard, which I preach, and I don't practice as much as I should. Okay, and I'm not even trying to get the whole wrench on there. I'm just sneaking around this hose because I don't want to take the hose out, cut the zip tie for it. If I can just get this guy started, then that's going to be enough. Alright, now smart money would be, of course, to just cut the zip tie holding this hose, pop the hose out, and you would have clear access to it. Clearly I love to suffer, so here we are. Okay, so in the end it wasn't even the Phillips. It was just me trying to hold it straight with one finger while I was threading it on with the other. And I got one thread on. So now I'm just gonna chase it in by hand. And now we're gonna tighten it down. Connect our two electrical connectors, turn the car on, and make sure that everything starts fine. This is again not something we want to. This is not something that we want to be tightening down crazy tight. Just want to get it nice and snug. Those are the torque specs. Torque specs snug. And the bottom bolt too. Alrighty, that just leaves, let's plug that guy back in and plug our new sensor in. Alright, so old sensor out. In the beginning when I said clean it, I cleaned that little tab that we saw sticking out, that metal tab that we put in there. It was covered with gunk. So I know it's clean, but also when you do this, if you were doing this job, just take a look and you want to clean off any kind of gunk that may have accumulated there over time. Now all that's left is to turn her on. And here we go. Pop her neutral, keys in, clutch down. Turned on fine, that's, the first thing I hold my breath about. Idle is a little high right now because she's warming up, engine is cold. But we're not at 3,000, which is always good. So I think it's a success. The only thing left now is to actually just drive her, see how well it holds. All right, she's been running now for about 20 minutes or so. She is at temp, she is warmed up. Idle is holding beautifully. I don't see any fluctuation in the needle. Give her a bit of a rev. Falls right back down to where she's supposed to be at. All right, guys, and that's how we change a throttle position sensor on a 99 Mazda Protege, the 1.6 liter, although I imagine it's going to be much the same with the 1.8. If you have any questions or concerns, drop them in the comments. You'll find all the parts, tools, and they're also in the description. If you're watching this, good on you for keeping your 27-year-old Mazda Protege alive. Keep at it. Hopefully see you on the road.